One thing about me, I love lizards, specifically big lizards, and if you don't, you're missing out. And trust me, I already know what you're gonna say, and it's that dinosaurs are closer to birds than they are to lizards, and I know that, but that's not the point of this video. If you're new to my channel, you probably don't know that the only reason I know anything about Dungeons & Dragons is because I played Baldur's Gate 3 for 6 months straight, accumulated over 600 hours, and continue to be obsessed with this game. But I love Baldur's Gate so much that it inspired me to play real-life Dungeons & Dragons. So when I started playing in real life, I really only knew that I wanted to be a drow and I wanted to be a druid. Which tracks for me because my first character in Baldur's Gate 3 was a drow druid. But don't get me wrong, as much as I love all the stereotypical druid stuff, I knew that I wanted my character to be like a little more cool than just like your average druid that's going to turn into a wolf or bear. And that's when I remembered at level 10 in Baldur's Gate 3 as a druid, you get the dinosaur wild shape, specifically the Dilophosaurus. So again, when creating my character for my Dungeons & Dragons campaign with my friends, I was like, absolutely, dinosaur druid, here we go. How can I make this work and get my DM to understand that this is the best option? So as you can imagine, I went down a rabbit hole about dinosaurs in Dungeons & Dragons, and that's what inspired this video. So we're going to talk about dinosaurs today. One of the most well-known homes of dinosaurs in Dungeons & Dragons is Chult. Chult is an isolated peninsula full of tall mountains and dense jungles. Chult also is full of various beasts, diseases, and of course, dinosaurs. My first experience with Chult is, you guessed it, in Baldur's Gate 3, when you're at the circus and you piss off the genie by stealing his ring and winning the prize, and then you get transported to Chult and you're just in a jungle full of dinosaurs. I was like, what the heck is this? And Chult is honestly insane. Like, reading up on it, I was blown away, and I want a full game like as detailed as Baldur's Gate 3 just taking place in Chult. I'll probably make a video just about Chult one day because I could talk about it for a really long time if I wanted to. But back to dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are the dominant predators of Chult and are worshipped by the native people as aspects of the god Ubtao. More on him later. But as far as the origins of dinosaurs, according to D&D lore, it was widely believed by scholars from Candlekeep that dinosaurs existed in Toril since before the time period known as the Days of Thunder. In those ancient times, various species of dinosaur thrived until a cataclysm changed the world so drastically that most of them went extinct. But they're not super rare, at least not in Chult, as the people of Port Nyanzaru race raptors and even use hadrosaurs as beasts of burden. There's a whole D&D module called Tomb of Annihilation that takes place in Chult and seems to be the best way to get your dinosaur fix in D&D. It looks really sick, honestly. I hope I get to play this one day. Moving away from Chult, I want to talk about Mystara. I actually found out about Mystara from William SRD's video that's titled The D&D Game Where the Planet is Filled with Dinosaurs, and I loved this video so much. You guys should really go watch it. William's video is about the video game Warriors of the Eternal Sun, which is from 1992 by Westwood, in which the basic D&D setting of Mystara is revealed to be hollow and full of dinosaurs. William's video does a really good job of going into the lore of Mystara, much better than I could, being so honest. But in summary, basically, Mystara is a hollow world, which has like a vast inner realm hidden within the planet. And there's a bunch of dinosaurs there. And the reason that the dinosaurs are in this hollow world in Mystara is because they are one of the species that was on the verge of extinction on the surface. And dinosaurs had been placed there along with others by the immortals that governed the world and were subject to a magically induced state of stagnation by the spell of preservation, which means that the cultural characteristics, language, technology, etc., always remained the same. And so the dinosaurs were also protected by the spell of preservation. While doing my dinosaur research, I also found out about Eberron. Eberron was a unique campaign setting released for the 3.5 edition for Dungeons & Dragons in 2004. And it's kind of crazy because it seems like in this setting, dinosaurs are basically like cattle. Well, let me correct myself. They're not all cattle. In fact, they're more commonly used as mounts than anything else. But also livestock and beasts of burden. Dinosaurs were basically cultural cornerstones in this setting and were basically just a part of daily life, which is really cool and unique, and especially considering the fact that it seems like the halflings in this setting have these deep spiritual bonds with the dinosaurs as well. But now I think it's time that we talk about Ubtao. Ubtao is the patron deity of Chult, as well as the creator of Chult and the father of dinosaurs. When Ubtao would show himself to mortals, he would appear in the form of a powerful tabaxi human. But the form that he took most often was that of a massive Tyrannosaurus rex, more than twice the size of the largest mortal dinosaur creature, which is really sick. After the time of troubles, Ubtao began manifesting as a thunderous roar rolling across the Chultan jungles. The roar sounded as if every dinosaur in Chult roared at the same time. Ubtao was considered to be the leader of the Chultan pantheon, despite the fact that he was the only god within it. Other beings that the Chultans worshipped included numerous spirits of nature, minor gods, and the essence of the Chultan jungle, but these were all aspects of Ubtao himself. To be clear, the general consensus is that dinosaurs themselves were not intelligent enough to worship and venerate Ubtao, but who knows, okay? Maybe they were. It seems that Ubtao really only had his power like within Chult and not really outside of the region. Ubtao was also like a pretty indifferent and detached god, and it seems that at some point he basically abandoned Chult because he grew angry at his worshippers' infighting and their over-reliance on his assistance. He just peaced out. And it also seems that after his absence, many Chultans learned to unite as a people and set aside their differences, while also turning to other gods that were introduced to them by foreign missionaries such as Joaquin, Gond, and Severus. I think Ubtao is really cool and interesting, and my biggest question after learning about him was, why did he even want to create dinosaurs? And it seems that the general consensus of the answer to that is that he viewed dinosaurs as his gift to his people, the Chultans. And perhaps even cooler than Ubtao, we have Ka the Preserver. I first learned about Ka once again from William SRD's video about the game Warriors of the Eternal Sun. And Ka was amazing. Ka was a carnivorous dinosaur that was super smart. No, but literally, he had the ability to reason and comprehend with analytical clarity the world around him. He was also the first dinosaur to discover the weave of magic and manipulate it, which is crazy and so cool. If you can't tell, I'm really excited about Ka the Preserver. Ka ascended to godhood, and as far as I know, he is the only dinosaur to have done so. And as a god, Ka was just obsessed with life itself and the sanctity of life and preservation of endangered species and dying cultures and lost knowledge, which is why he created the Hollow World to protect all these different forms of life and their unique cultures. I had honestly never heard about Ka until I began the research for this video, and I'm kind of obsessed with him now. I think he's like the coolest thing ever. So if you feel similar to me, like I said, William SRD has a whole video talking about Ka and Mystara more in depth, and I highly recommend you check it out. To summarize, there's a surprisingly good bit of lore related to dinosaurs in D&D. While the idea of dinosaurs existing in this fantasy universe alongside dragons, elves, etc. may seem super random, I hope this video helps give you a better understanding of why exactly they do exist. I hope you enjoyed learning about the dinosaurs as much as I did. I know this is a little bit different than my previous two videos, and don't worry, there are more comparison videos to come. But I had fun yapping with you, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for listening.
May you and your family have full bellies and a warm place to rest always. Be well.